Hello, and welcome back to Sacrifice of Praise. Today we're reading chapter 22 of the book Sacrifice of Praise, entitled Brokenness. Psalm 34:18. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. As a young single missionary, I wrote in my prayer letter about a trip we planned to take to a neighboring country. Oh, how I'm praying that I'll return home changed. I'm asking God to renew and increase my burden and vision for souls on this trip. May God break my heart so I'll never be the same. Someone from back home emailed this in response to that letter. A lesson I learned a long time ago is to be careful what you ask for, because you may get it. I got what I wanted, but I didn't want what I got. My reply: I am well aware of the lesson you're talking about. Not only have I seen others have their prayers answered, but I've also had some of my prayers answered in ways I never dreamed or would have wanted. When I prayed and wrote it, I was aware that it was a prayer that could take any turn. To be broken usually means intense pain, whether physical, mental, or emotional. I am not a sadist, and pain is not the lot I'd choose for me. But if that's what it takes for God to do a great work in me, then I'll trust Him through it. I agree with Amy Carmichael. She said, to me, there's no more tragic sight than the average missionary. A Hindu bowing down to his idol leaves me unmoved beside it. We have given so much, yet not one thing that counts. We aspire so high and fall so low. We suffer so much, but so seldom with Christ. We have done so much, and so little will remain. We have known Christ in part and have effectively barricaded our hearts against His mighty love, which He must yearn to give His disciples above all people. It is fatally easy to live easily. God deliver me from the indifference of mediocrity. When I wrote this, there was one thing in my life that I hoped God wouldn't use for this breaking. Yet I offered it to Him too, although I still held it close to my heart. Yes, this was the very thing He used in this part of my journey of brokenness. It was crushing, confusing, and took a long time to heal. Yet looking back, I see God's hand of mercy and goodness in it, and I am grateful that He answered my prayer. You see, I really wanted God to use me. I had many dreams and desires, but to be used was the constant desire. Yet I had no idea how unusable I was. Oh, I had the computer skills and could prepare tracts, Bibles, and other literature to be printed, but I had some serious flaws that hindered me from being used as God wanted to use me. Many years later, God would use other means to break me and make me more like Him. Each time, I learned to hold my dreams more loosely until I could hold each one up to Him with a completely open hand and ask Him to give or take at His pleasure. When God takes one now, there is disappointment and even pain. But there is not that ripping, searing pain that comes when He has to pry the offering out of my clenched hand. In one of these seasons, it seemed everything I picked up to read touched on the subject of brokenness. Everywhere I read in the Bible, God was breaking someone. Now this sounds cruel, but God doesn't break His children to destroy them, only to refine and make them more usable. God removed Adam from his home and family and delayed giving him the son He had promised until they lost all hope. When God finally gave them Isaac, He asked Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. Through all the trials, failures, and disappointments, we see God make Abraham into a great man and use him to begin the nation that would give us the Savior of the world. God broke Paul often, only to make him a great missionary and use him to reach the world for Christ. The words he penned as he suffered have strengthened and encouraged countless Christians throughout the ages. Moses was in the desert for 40 years after fleeing Egypt, and God made him a mighty leader and the meekest man that ever lived. Sometimes our breaking comes from our own failings and sin, but the blessings that come from it when we submit to Him are life-changing. Peter was a rough fisherman, impulsive, and often out of sync with Jesus, but he was still part of that inner circle that was always with Jesus. Then Judas betrayed Jesus and Peter denied even knowing him. Shame and sorrow flooded him when that rooster crowed and Jesus looked at him. Peter nearly left the ministry, but Jesus sought him out and restored this broken man. Yet Peter wasn't the same. The Peter who preached with power on Pentecost and the man who wrote the epistles by his name was a man filled with the power of God. What made such a drastic change? His failure broke him, and God used it to change him. The times of breaking in my life have taken various forms throughout the years. Shattered dreams, betrayals, loss, sickness, and more. Your breaking may look different from mine, but the goal is always the same, to make us more like Christ and to bring him glory. If you are reading this book, there's a good chance you are going through a time of breaking. I want to encourage you to rejoice in it. I know that sounds crazy and impossible, but it's not. If this breaking is from the Lord, it means he is still working to make you like him. If it is from the enemy, it means you're being used by God and Satan is fighting, or God will allow him to afflict you for a reason. Regardless of the source or reason, God can use it to change, refine, grow, and use you. Are you willing to be broken, to be made into the image of God, or to be used for his glory? It has truthfully been said, whom God greatly uses, he greatly bruises. My friend, whatever you're going through today, be reminded this morning that it's not taking God by surprise. It's not random or arbitrary. God is in control, and neither is it cruel. He loves you with an everlasting love. So today, determine in your heart that you will steward this season of brokenness and that you will look for God in this season of brokenness and what he has for you and what he wants to teach you. And surrender this time of brokenness, this time of pain. I give it all to you, Lord. With an open hand, I give it all to you. Whatever you want to do with this time, I submit to your will. And see what kind of beauty he brings out of your brokenness. And until you see what he's doing, offer him a sacrifice of praise.